Follow the money. That's what I always say. You always follow the money. Yeah.
This is Follow the Money with Mitch Moss and Pauly Howard on VSiN.
Here we go. Welcome in. It is Follow the Money on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network. Mitch Moss along with Pauly Howard. We're live in downtown Las Vegas from the Circa Resort and Casino. Busy 3-hour program lined up today. Among our guests, Kevin Culjat from back in Omaha, as it's a triple header today, and there's a game ongoing as we speak, and a big one coming up a little bit later on tonight. He's the owner of Rocco's, where we broadcast from last week. Jeff Seeley, best bets on the Travelers Championship this weekend on the PGA Tour. Dennis Bernstein live in Sunrise, Florida. Game 6 tonight, Stanley Cup Final. And a ton to get into with Derek Stevens, the owner of this great property, a little bit later on during his regular Tuesday appearance. We'll go heavy baseball today. Again, the NHL will hit it several times. And we do have news this afternoon on the heels of Game 5 last night, Pauly, in the NBA Finals, one in which the Oklahoma City took a 3-2 series lead by covering that game. And by the way, going over, and then we're planning on coming in today. What's going to happen in Game 6? Goes back to Indiana. Point spread, where is it at? And then Shams Shirini over at ESPN tweeted out, and this was up in the air, right? We did not know. Halliburton was hurt last night. What was the severity of the calf? Shams tweeted out an hour ago, it is believed that Tyrese Halliburton suffered a strained right calf, and now he's going to have to undergo an MRI to determine how severe it is. And numbers are on the move from a betting standpoint, because Indiana was catching about 4.5, maybe 5 points before the news. After that, OKC jumped up to a 7-point favorite at some books. And ever since, Pauly settling in here at 6.5, the total down from about 224 to 222.5.
The adjusted series price is now as high as minus 2,000.
Yeah.
This is when I hate the Warrior mentality. When he said after the game, if I'm walking, I'm playing. But you can't go out there and hurt your team. And then what McConnell was giving you in place of Halliburton, I can't believe they just... Remember, he was limping after Game 2. And then he's clearly hurt. And what happened in the first quarter when he made that drive, he's giving you nothing. He's compromised. He's 0 of 6 and has 4 points, and you run him out there. Everything goes against you. 22 turnovers. Williams is Superman. It's a 2-point game in the fourth quarter. Yep. And he takes McConnell out.
Right. Can we get a clarification on that, please? Carlisle's done a really, really good job in his career and throughout this series in the playoffs. Last night was inexplicable to me. How did you make that decision? How was McConnell not on the court? I thought that he was the sole reason why you were still in the game. The guy was fantastic. Halliburton is visibly hurt. And yet, nope, McConnell has to go to the bench and then comes out when the game's over with, and it's a total blowout again. I was baffled at what I was watching. Bad job by Carlisle. I don't know if they win the game. Do they cover? That's the most important question, I think, for many people.
Don't you have to show the guts and the right thing there and say, you know what, I'm hurting my team. I can't be out there.
I think so, yeah.
It's okay to say that.
He had a horrible game.
That's not you. You're a hell of a player. You were atrocious. But I cut you slack because you're hurt. You can't put him out there. And then after the game, if I'm walking, I'm playing. No, you're not. Mm-hmm. You're not, because it could be worse. You could make it worse. And you're hurting the team, and the other guy is doing a better job and was 18-4-4 with 2 steals.
What do you think happens in the game last night if Carlisle says, look, Tyrese, we love you. You've been unbelievable for us. You're taking a seat on the bench. You're not coming back into this game. And he just gassed out McConnell in the game, or played him as many seconds as he possibly could.
There's ways around it, though. There's so many damn timeouts and commercial breaks.
I know.
Fouls, whatever. There's ways around it. I mean, the guy's a professional athlete. He's in shape, and he's used to this. He was fine. I thought he would have been great.
I thought so, too.
I thought that, and then for them to be in that situation and down big with everything going against them, and Sloppy Joe, 32 OKC points off the 22 turnovers, and yet we got a 2-point game with 8 minutes left. They're right there.
Yeah, it really is remarkable, all things considered, like you just said. OKC got that game from Williams. You brought that up. I mean, and the list now is endless about how many guys with Hall of Fame careers never scored 40 in an NBA Finals game. Well, Jalen Williams has now done that. SGA had 30-plus points in the game, and you got that performance out of Wiggins. Great. See, that was a great job by Dagnall, recognizing, okay, he's had the hot hand here. Let's keep riding him, and Wiggins delivered yet again. Great job out of that kid. And yet, Halliburton had the worst game he's had maybe all year long. and they could not stop. The dumb turnovers were enough to make you want to throw the remote.
Yeah.
And I also thought, yet again, they did not get a very friendly whistle. For what it's worth, I had no action on the game last night.
No, OKC gets a completely different whistle from everyone.
I don't
especially
get it.
SGA.
And by the way, they're allowed to play physical on defense too.
Yep.
But yet, if anybody breathes on SGA, he's going to the free throw line 15 times in the game. It's just baffling to me how that works. But with all that considered, there was still a chance there where Indiana, oh my God, it's a one-possession game here. And I don't know, Jalen Williams, how many times did he go to the rack last night and throw it up like this, and it banks in off the glass from 8 feet out? Like, those shots were not easy that he was hitting last night.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he had a phenomenal basketball game.
Mm-hmm.
I also thought that, again, some of those shots were kind of lucky to go in, but now adjusted, by the way, for the player props in Game 6. At DraftKings, McConnell's points prop is 10.5. You can bet over 5.5 assists or 6+ at plus 115, and basically 4+ rebounds at plus 110. But we don't know, obviously, the status right now of Halliburton, and then how much time he would play and how much that would impact McConnell. I mean, I think McConnell has been phenomenal in this series. And so he's got to get a ton of run.
Siakam's been good too. And Williams was 30-1 to score 40 points last night.
Wow.
4-1 to score 30. So they need every bit of it. And that was, again, how many people shut the game off? You had to watch. It's right there. It's the number's 9.5. Indiana's got the ball down 11, coming down, right? Even with 30 seconds left, they get the stop. Can you score? No,
Yep.
Can't do it. The kid misses the free throw as well after the and one. I mean, it came down to the final possession, 120 to 109. Oh, it was great.
And one request, though, because we, again, saw both teams go to the free throw line a lot last night. Is there ever going to be a day in the NBA Finals, because this happens, I think, pretty much every year, can we just let them play occasionally? Do we have to have 35 trips to the free throw line for these teams? And can we? Are they allowed to be physical at all, or no? It absolutely drives me up a wall from just a basketball fan.
Oh, okay.
Standpoint.
They let them play the first 3 series, conference finals, first round, etc.
Well, here they're not.
Okay.
You got to believe that Jalen Williams is live to win the NBA Finals MVP. Down to 7-1. He was 36-1 before Game 4 that I saw. And he was 15-1 before the game last night.
Interesting point, because you have to handicap voters, and who knows what they're going to do. You know, so many people were screaming what happened in Eastern Conference Finals MVP. Go back a couple years ago with Denver and Miami, that a couple people wanted to make the case for Butler, even if they lost. And what happened with, if the Heat were going to lose to Boston, and what happened. And then you saw significant movement today with the Conn Smythe. So if you are a prominent person on X and you make a case for somebody, whether any market, that can change it, swing it, move the odds. And then NHL.com today talked to 9 writers, and it was all over the place. And then the numbers went crazy. So a couple of days ago, I say you're out of your mind. But SG is probably going to win it. But if Williams goes for 35 again,
sure.
You don't know how these people are going to react and vote, because the stuff I saw today on NHL.com with the Conn Smythe was freaking lunacy.
Sure. Like, I honestly don't know how you can say it's over with. And rather than playing like Oklahoma City, and they're 2,000 now to win the series, like you said, would you rather play SGA at minus 550 to win the MVP? I wouldn't, because I think there's a clear path here for Williams. To your point, though, I don't know how the voters are going to go for it, but there's a path here where Williams is going to steal this thing. And the scenario was there, actually, if we never got the injury to Halliburton last night.
Uh-huh.
Because, and we talked about this on the air yesterday, and we talked about it on Saturday Live from Omaha as well. I wanted Oklahoma City to win big last night so I can come back and grab a number on Indiana in Game 6 back at home. That was the game that I had circled. I targeted that game, but now kind of all bets are off because I obviously have no idea what's going to happen here. I guess the good news is, with them playing last night, we do not get Game 6 Wednesday night. They play it on Thursday night. So there is that extra day off, but again, if it's a severe calf strain, then that's clearly going to impact Tyrese Halliburton all the way until Thursday. It's not like it's going to be worn off by that time and he's going to be good to go.
McConnell 10.5 points right now at DraftKings.
Yep.
I'd be fine with playing him major minutes.
I
with
wonder
the season on the line, and I think the others will benefit, and they can win this game and force a Game 7, even without him or compromised.
If we find out that Halliburton cannot go, I wonder where those numbers go for McConnell. Because right now, 10.5 points, 5.5 assists, 3.5 rebounds, that's too low, right?
Yeah, there's 4.5s out there, too. Yeah.
For assists?
Yeah.
Or rebounds, I mean?
No, assists.
Okay. Yeah. All right.
I just don't understand it. He's not 100%, it's clear. We were concerned at halftime. He insisted on playing. You're the coach!
Yep.
Say no.
How much power do the players actually have to have? You're exactly right with that. You're watching the game unfold. You're down by 14 points. We can't possibly paint a picture of how bad he was. You all watched the game last night, probably, if you're listening to the show right now. You know Halliburton was awful in the game, and he's not giving you a good enough chance to win it. And McConnell was.
That's the big thing. The other guy was a superstar.
Yeah.
No doubt about it. That one was tough.
That's like college basketball coaches. Yep. I can't play my 4-star over my 5-star because I know he's better, but the kid's a 5-star. I can't sit him. John Calipari, he's done that his entire career. It's idiotic. Play the kid who is, giving you a better chance to win, and basically who's a better basketball player at that time. So, by the way, on the flip side for the NBA Finals MVP, the two guys who are the short shots for Indiana, Siakam's 13, Halliburton all the way up to 33-1 now. Up next, more on Game 6, Stanley Cup Final. We'll go over the latest odds on the game, props, and someone here at VSiN has 18 bets on the game. We'll run some of those down next here on VSiN.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
Do or die tonight for the Edmonton Oilers. Game 6 Stanley Cup Final on the road against Florida. 3-2, obviously, Panthers with the series lead. And Stuart Skinner is going to be in goal tonight for Edmonton. It looks like Caesars, the highest number in the market, Pauly, on Florida tonight. They're $1.65. The take back plus 140 on Edmonton in this game here at Circa. It's minus 155, plus 139 for these two teams. The total is 6.5.
Can't wait. Tough game tonight. Florida looks easy. That's why you got to be careful. I also loved them Game 6 against Toronto at home. Shutout. Toronto took it to them. Then they responded and blew them out in Game 7. Last 2 years in closeout games, to close out a series, they're only 2-5. Shutout against Toronto, as I mentioned. Shutout against Carolina, also at home. Head-to-head, all 7 meetings have gone over this year, and 11 of the last 12 have gone over. Can Skinner and Edmonton slow Florida's juggernaut down here with this offensive firepower at any point? Florida goals in the series, 3, 5, 6, 4, and 5. 15 times in the playoffs, they scored 4 goals in a game, second most in playoff history. As we talked about before the series, the Edmonton penalty kill had been atrocious. Florida has 7 power play goals in the series. And then we all know what happened last year, too. It's 3-0, couldn't close them out till Game 7, and they win 2-1. Need a little Skinner magic. Got to stay out of the box. You got to get the first goal, too. Last 3 games, first period, 7-1 aggregate Panthers. Can't come out flat and fall behind. And Edmonton was listless in the last game. So get the first goal, try to jump on them early, and see if we can send this thing back to Canada Friday night.
Sure. We had a guest on, Tom Gazzola from Edmonton Sports Talk yesterday, and I threw the question at him. Like, it appears to me as if Florida has probably played 2 A games so far in the 2 blowouts. They were phenomenal, and those were never really even contests. And we've also seen Edmonton play great in spurts. But for 60 minutes or 60-plus minutes, Pauly, in one of these games, I believe that we have not seen an A game from Edmonton. And so do they have that in them? Or is Florida too good / too much of a difficult matchup for them to actually put their A game on the ice?
Certainly 5-on-5, that's the case, too. Yep. They lead in goals, expected goals, high danger chances, and what they're doing 5-on-5 as well. Edmonton has 9 goals in the series, 5-on-5. Edmonton hasn't beat them in regulation. That's another one. So I think if Florida takes them out, but be careful because it looks so easy tonight after how they dominated the last game. and how this has played out in the series as well.
Doesn't the entire thing come down to Skinner?
Yeah,
like if you're,
it does. Can you hold them to one or two goals?
That's exactly right.
That's right.
I think if you're betting on the Oilers to win this game, well, first of all, that means that there's going to be a price out there where you just think that's insane. Like my numbers show it cannot be that high. Got to grab them. But I think part of that is also tied in. Like you have to believe that Skinner is going to go out there and has the capability here of just, as you said, the Skinner magic has to reappear. And it feels like it's been forever since we've seen that. He's got to go back to the guy that basically won the series against the Golden Knights and then moved on. You know, there was a blip on the radar in that third period of Game 1 against Dallas. After that, he was really, really good. But it hasn't been there against this team. And again, I think that probably speaks to how awesome this Panthers team is. I don't think the number goes much higher than it is right now. Because at some point you're going to get, I think, full buyback on Edmonton. Like if it were to touch $1.45 or $1.50 on the plus side. As for some props tonight, Jonathan Davis, vsin.com. Great write-up on the website. I tweeted it out as well at Mitch Moss Radio. He has 18 bets on the game. I'll give you a couple here. Bouchard has blocked 2 shots in all 5 Final Cups games. His over tonight is 1.5 minus 150. He also likes Corey Perry over shots on goal. 2 shots on goal in all 5 Cup games and 3 or more in 4 of the 5. So he laddered him tonight. He took over 1.5. Late, I think, minus 150 and also 2.5 at some plus money on Corey Perry.
Yep, I got that over. Good analysis. He's right with all 5. Ekholm over blocks, 12-1. The last 13. It's 1.5 minus $1.70. If you want to protect yourself with Bennett Conn Smythe tickets, Marchand most goals is minus 220 for the series. He has a 1-goal lead over Bennett.
I would bet. I would do this. I would bet. Here's what you could do if you have Sam Bennett. I would play it for Marchand to score a goal tonight at plus money, because I think there's still a way where you can win both bets. Because Marchand could score a goal and cash that, and he doesn't necessarily win the Conn Smythe. You could still win it with Sam Bennett at that time, and maybe Bennett scores. By the way,
that's true too.
Maybe they both score, and Bennett, and then you sit there and you cash like a plus 230 and Marchand to score tonight, and you're going to cash your Sam Bennett. In theory, here tickets to win the Conn Smythe at whatever number you might have him at. I can't believe this now, down to minus 120.
So there was a article. There was an article on NHL.com. They asked 9 voters, "Who's your Conn Smythe?" And it's all over the place. That a couple had Marchand, a couple had Bennett. One person had Bob, regardless of outcome. One person had Draisaitl, regardless of outcome.
Oh, mama mia.
This could be wild here with what happens. And I don't know if it was that. I know Chris Felica, who's got a Marchand ticket, was making the case for him. Kevin Rogers made the case for Marchand yesterday, but This has gone from 220 to 120. And then you saw Marchand come down considerably from 450 and a little lower on Draisaitl as well, too. So I don't know what to make of it. I think it's Bennett. It's close, but tonight could decide it. And then this NHL.com thing today is just absolute lunacy as well. There are some good props up as well. DraftKings shot on goal in the first 2 minutes. Both teams shot on goal in the first 5 minutes. I don't mind first goal power play plus 230 as well, with Edmonton, always going to the box, and how Florida's continued to score on a power play as well. So you have that, and I mentioned the Ekholm blocks as well, which I like. How about most shots on goal in the game? Bouchard and McDavid are 5-1. Draisaitl 6. Bennett's 9. Verhaeghe's 12. Kachuk's 15. Marchand 17. And Bouchard cashed a big one earlier in the series, too.
I got to tell you, that whole thing that you ran down from NHL.com, it tells me that we need more fine print in the rules for the Conn Smythe.
Yeah.
Because if one person says that it's Bob regardless of outcome, and then a couple of other people are saying it's got to be Marchand, that tells you that the 2 people voting for Marchand are putting way more stock into the Stanley Cup Final than they are in the previous 3 series.
Yeah.
And the person who is then going to vote for Bob, regardless of the outcome, is putting a ton of stock in the first 3 series and like nothing in the Stanley Cup Final. Well, which one is it? I mean, should it not be from like game 1 of the playoffs until the final game of the Stanley Cup in totality, the whole playoff run? And if that's the case, then I think that Marchand has a weaker case than Bobrovsky. He'd have to be like where he is in the odds board then. And Bennett would have to be the winner of the award.
Can you put that up again, guys? Bob got 2 votes. He got 2 votes. It's like 150 to 1.
Wow.
Last check he was. Yeah, down to 100. And then the movement on Bennett, too. So,
and also we need more information on the person. And did the person who said Draisaitl by default, no matter what happens, give an answer why or a reason why?
I'll track it. I'll read it for you. I think. Yeah, I'll read it to you. Yeah.
They lose tonight in 6 games. He's going to vote Draisaitl?
Yeah. Here's where we were at before the series, and stuff that could cash tonight. Marchand Conn Smythe was 90-1, 20-1 to lead in goals. He's up 1. To have 4+ goals was 10-1 that already cashed. Bennett most goals was 12-1. He's 1 behind. 4+ goals already cashed plus 550. Will he have a point in every game? 23-1. He has. That's another one too. Get a couple assists tonight. That's fine.
Yep.
He would cash that prop too, and that would come in. So get the first goal, try to play with the lead, and try to hold them down, which is easier said than done. But you've been able to do it the entire series. And Game 2 is now enormous after losing that game as well. Want to make smarter football bets this season? Start with VSiN Pro. Grab our football special at the early bird rate, just $175. Incredible offer and deal. Full access through the Super Bowl. Our upcoming NFL betting guide. Power ratings, season-long bets. There'll be a ton of futures in there. The morning email from Bill 80. Every best bet, every host, every guest. The betting splits from DK and Circa. Live and on-demand shows via the VSiN Watch app. Early bird deal. Head to vsin.com/subscribe now. Lock it in. Your football special, just $175. vsin.com/subscribe.
Also, some major moves tonight in the WNBA. I'll give you one here. The Fever opened up 15 against the worst team in the league, the Sun. They're up to like 18. Caitlin Clark is as low as 21.5. I'd be careful with her tonight as well. It might be a 30-point game in the third quarter, and they say, yeah, we're going to sit our starters at this point.
Yeah.
And also, there was a massive move in the Storm and Sparks game.
Yeah. So Shoemaker has this right up at vsin.com that L.A. opened 1.5, plums out.
Yes.
And then he was following the steam early, and he laid 3 with Seattle, and now it's up to 9. And I think he makes the game 8, if I remember his article.
With no plum?
So that's, he grabbed the 3, and then he just saw, a huge move in that game, and a 7-point move on the under, too.
Wow. Well, another one here. The Lynx lane 13 against the Aces with no Wilson. What does she work to the point spread? 8-9 points as well?
Yeah, right.
All right, we'll go back to Omaha coming up next. The owner of Rocco's, Kevin Culjat's going to join the program. Paul Skeens was there yesterday. His girlfriend, Libby Dunn. Plus, forget the rain delay. The night game was suspended.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
Pauly College World Series today, kind of with a triple header because LSU defeated UCLA 9-5. That game was suspended last night. They finished it today. Right now, top of the 5th, Louisville leading Oregon State 4-2. And later on tonight, UCLA has to play again against Arkansas. And we head back to Omaha now as the owner of Rocco's, where we were broadcasting from last week. And over the weekend, Kevin Culjat joins the program now. He's on the Progressive guest line. Kevin, good to talk to you, buddy. How are you today?
I'm awesome, fellas. How you doing?
Well,
good, sir.
Probably not as good as you. Yesterday must have been all-time good, right? Because not only did Arkansas play the early game, the kid goes out there with the first no-hitter at the College World Series since 1960 with 19 strikeouts. So those 26,000 fans have to empty the stadium feeling great after that. And, oh, by the way, LSU plays in the night game, and it's not, forget rain delay, it was suspended. And you said that was a dream come true. Yesterday, best day of your life overall at the bar?
It was. I tell you what, it was a top 3, no doubt about it. It didn't reach a championship game numbers, but it was up there. And you know the great thing about it was they kept waiting for the game to end. Like I told you guys, every time a lightning strikes, they delay it 40 more minutes. So they can't officially call the game until 10:20 because you can't throw a pitch after 11 o'clock and start a game back up. So those fans came out of the stadium and they had nothing to do for 5 hours but hang out with me and Rocco. So it kind of worked out really good. Then they turned.
I was going to say, by the way, the rock star himself, Paul Skeens, was there with his supermodel girlfriend, Libby Dunn.
Yeah, it wasn't too bad. They were there, and Todd Graves was there. Matt Rule, Nebraska's coach, stopped in. So it was a who's who of people yesterday enjoying Rocco's Jello Shot Room. So it was fun.
So how does that work? Where Todd, owner of Raising Cane, says he's coming in, I'm coming heavy, I'm bringing Skeens, and we're going to pack the place. How much notice do you need? And I'm sure it was all over social media. It was great how it was a zoo. How do you handle that then as an owner when you got a superstar coming to the bar?
It's tough because you want to make sure that they're in a spot where they're not going to get bothered, So basically, where you guys set up, it was kind of cordoned off. And so we just kind of used kind of the same setup. They bring their own security and everything, so we don't have to worry about that. We bring them in the back door, so that they don't have to fight their way through the crowd. You get them in there, and of course, social media is all over the place, and so it's packed, and it's kind of a mayhem, but it's a good mayhem, and they have a good time, and people like to see them, and there's nothing like the press I get out of it, that's for sure.
Yeah, 2 years ago, Todd brought Joe Burrow in.
Yeah, Joe Burrow came in. I'm a huge Steeler fan, but it was nice to meet Joe Burrow. He was a good guy, and snapped a couple photos with my boys and I, and he came in. They don't stay very long. They come in usually about 45 minutes or an hour maybe before the game. They head out to a suite, I'm sure, and they watch the games, then jump on the jet and fly out. So it's a pretty good lifestyle, I'm thinking.
Absolutely, no doubt. Love Raising Cane's as well. Update us on the Jell-O Shot Challenge, on where LSU's at after they set their record 2 years ago, and the overall record of how many Jell-O shots you can sell right now on the board.
Yeah, so LSU's pace is a little thin compared to, setting the all-time record. The overall Jell-O shot board, I think we're about 4,500 shots ahead of our overall record of 98,000. So, I think we're going to crack 100,000 for sure. And again, the next couple of days are going to be, pivotal in who gets a chance to win the whole thing and who gets a chance to set the record. Again, it's going to come down to Arkansas and LSU, I'm sure.
For business, you need Arkansas to beat UCLA tonight, do you not?
Oh, 100%. Yeah, absolutely. And then I need Arkansas to beat LSU tomorrow because I need games on Thursday. So, the difference for me between having no games or one games or two games is massive. So, we're cheering for the losers bracket now, big time.
I was going to say, how does this work? I think I have this correct, and correct me if I don't, but tomorrow Coastal Carolina will play the winner of the game that's going on right now, Oregon State-Louisville. And if Coastal wins that game, then there's no game on Thursday. And the same can be said for LSU. If they beat their opponent tomorrow, there's no game on Thursday then?
Yeah, that's the way it works. And last year was the first time we had that happen in a long time. Usually you get one. Usually there's one upset at least. You hope for two. But last year there were no games on Thursday. So it's still fun around here and everything, but obviously it's now nowhere near the amount of volume that I would have if I have one or two games. So tomorrow I'll be cheering for, although I love Coastal, I'll be cheering for them to lose, and we'll be cheering for Arkansas to win. So then do it again on Thursday. It'll be a blast.
You have to hedge, Kevin. You got to go to the sports book and hedge. LSU's too good for business.
It is so funny you guys would say that, man. I should have asked you guys what you thought and what I should do. I'm going to have to hedge because you're talking big swings in cash for me, guys.
Yes, absolutely. Go to the Horseshoe, wherever Council Bluffs, and bet against LSU. You have to. How you holding up on Busch Light?
Got plenty of Busch Light, Pauly. If ever in doubt, I can always drag some over from Iowa. So we always got plenty of Busch Light. We'll never let the Busch Light fans down. There's always going to be cold Busch Light in my bars.
Okay, excellent.
What did you go through last night? How many cases of Busch Light last night? How many kegs overall?
Oh, my gosh. I think I loaded in this morning. I think I loaded in 140 cases and another 30 or 40 kegs. So it was, it's a lot of, I'm getting a workout in the morning. Let's just put it that way.
Wow. Impressive, no doubt. How was it Saturday night? I think it was Saturday night when Derek did the giveaway and the young kid won the trip to Stadium Swim in Circa.
So it was absolute. I mean, there's probably 1,000 people in line. So I'm stuck outside. All these people are out there, and he's giving away the trip. And everybody, again, it hits social media. It's a huge buzz, and the place was, going crazy. Well, then Pat, my bartender who you met, my manager, he's behind the bar. I'm outside with all the security. We're trying to, one in, one out. And Pat yells something about come behind the bar. Well, he meant the winner of the thing. We all come storming in like there's a riot going on. And I'm like, Pat, don't ever yell that over the speakers again. But we got it all toned down, and it was actually a guy from Council Bluffs where I'm from who won the trip. So that's kind of cool. And that was a cool thing for Derek to do, sort of a last second thing, but they were able to pull it off, and everybody was happy.
Very cool. All right, Kevin, thanks for the update. Glad it's going so well for you out there, and thanks for the time today. As always, we appreciate that.
Hey, anytime, fellas. I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
There you go. That's Kevin Culjat, who's the owner of Rocco's in Omaha, and he was on the Progressive guest line. I can't imagine what yesterday was like.
Oh.
On top of all that, you have Skeens and Dunn there.
Now, you laid it out. You start with the iconic all-time performance from Wood. I love the Omaha shirts. Those are going to sell big.
Oh, that's good, yeah.
So he third no-hitter, first since the 60s, as you mentioned. He strikes a strikeout record, right? So then Arkansas goes across the street to celebrate, and LSU fans are already there because they got the night game. And then he's like he told us when we were at Rocco's, he said his favorite 2 words are rain delay. Mm-hmm. And then that happens. And then the game gets suspended. They got to come back and play today, so it ends up being a triple header. And now Arkansas plays tonight against UCLA, and right now you got the middle game, Louisville on top of Oregon State. Yeah. So he's got a hedge. He knows.
Well, he's
got it.
No,
they're too good for business.
Right.
They're up to 20,000 Jell-O shots. They could challenge. They're behind the pace, but they could challenge their record of 68,000 Jell-O shots.
No, and then, by the way, you're going to get a nice plus price on the other side.
Yeah, right.
So it's kind of a no-brainer that he's going to have to take them. And right now, in the 6th inning, Louisville on top of Oregon State 4-2. And the Cardinals currently favored in the money line, minus 220. Totals 10.5 in this game.
I forgot to ask him about Murray State. That still blows me away. They've been eliminated. They're second last check in Jell-O shots.
I'm a little
strong.
Disappointed in Arkansas.
Yeah, that's surprising.
Every time that they play, the stadium looks like 23,000 people in red. Uh-huh. And they showed up, and they were massive when we were there. And yet they're not close on the leaderboard. And they're laying 2.5 runs tonight against UCLA. That totals 10.5.
Uh-huh. Did you watch the LSU game earlier? ESPN showed Mardi Gras Mike with the 13-foot Tiger. 972 miles, drove it out here, and just drives around, and they got the speakers blaring, Born on the Bayou in Louisiana Saturday night.
Who was telling me this? They think that the person who was driving that Tiger around, that's his job.
I wouldn't surprise me.
I had the conversation with somebody yesterday. I can't remember who it was.
Just drive it around and play the music.
So he drives it in, and then like he comes here and hangs out, tailgates, goes to the games, but he's the guy who's responsible for driving that big Tiger on like a parade float around the whole time.
Yes.
It's not a bad gig.
Yeah. They called up Kevin and said, hey, we want to put it. He goes, you can't put it here. We'll call the city. He goes, well, they're going to tell you no. And then we get off the air, and it's right in front of our hotel right there. And then he's driving it around. And they showed it on ESPN today. I think that's probably his gig.
The wind is blowing in last night, like 10, 15 miles an hour. Runs are at an absolute premium here in previous games. I have the under 9.5 in LSU UCLA. Under at even money.
Not bad beat.
It's 4-3.
Canceled.
In the first inning.
Yes.
No, it wasn't. The ticket wasn't canceled. It ended up being a loser. Carried over to today.
Oh, they did that?
But regardless, I mean,
House rules.
7 runs in the first, and the guy smoked like a 450-foot home run in the first inning into the wind when nothing was happening offensively. Rough stretch, man. Tough.
What a day for him. Unbelievable. You couldn't draw it up any better.
Oh, yesterday Omaha was the spot to be in the country yesterday.
You get the call from Todd. I'm coming in. I'm bringing Skeens and Dunn on my jet. Yeah. We're going to hang out. Show up for the game, and now it starts with Arkansas. There's Derek from Saturday night. Oh, there's Skeens on the board, too. Yeah. I'll tell you, I agree with everyone. He's got nice handwriting.
Everybody's saying that?
Yeah.
Oh.
Look at it. It's very clear with the numbers.
I didn't know what you were going to say there. He's got nice something. I was like, what?
Yes.
He's got nice handwriting.
I got terrible penmanship.
Okay.
I'm terrible. They think I'm a doctor. I'm horrible. How bad's my penmanship?
Can't read anything.
See? There you go.
Yeah. Win-lose up next, and a significant move in Major League Baseball awards because of this.
Win Some, Lose Some is sponsored by the Sharp Plays.
Were you a winner last night?
Wow, winning.
Or was it a rough one?
Well, they can't all be winners, can they?
Loser! You're a loser!
Pauly Howard recaps the night in sports betting in Win Some, Lose Some.
Game 5 last night, Hartenstein. First basket, 7-1. Most threes, dead heat. Wiggins, 30-1. Neesmith, 8-1. Most points, Williams plus 550. The score, 40 points, as high as 30-1. To score 30 points or more, 4-1. Anthony goes deep. Second hit as a pro, plus 750. Red Sox with another shutout. They've won 6 in a row.
The pitching staff now in the last week, they have, as we detailed yesterday, they had a 1.05 ERA. The starters did going into last night, and then Giolito threw an absolute gem.
Yes. He was great. Win some, Sabalenka apologizes to Coco Gauff. Emotions got the best of me. Good for her. She didn't give her much credit after she lost in the French Open final. Said it was the worst final I've ever played, the conditions, yada, yada. Good job by her reaching out.
You know, it's the heat of the moment.
Yeah.
Tells me how competitive she is. And I like that. I like people who are pissed off when they lose.
Sure.
You know, that should mean something.
She's emotional. And also, happy June 17th. One of the best sports days ever. And
is it really?
Yep. It was a great 30 for 30. In 1994, Ken Griffey Jr. hit his 30th home run, tying the record for home runs before June 30th. It was Arnold Palmer's last major tournament in U.S. Open. The 1994 World Cup started in the U.S. The Rangers had their Stanley Cup championship parade on Broadway, down Broadway. And Knicks Rockets final, Game 5, was interrupted.
What happened?
The Bronco chase. Oh, Jay. Which, look at like Super Bowl numbers. Like 100 million people were watching the Bronco chase that night. And they took the game off at one point.
Probably the best sporting event of all time.
Might be.
The
Go
Bronco
Juice,
chase.
go. Go Juice, go. Right? And then you had the Howard Stern phony phone call, Baba Booey. And then you had what's going to happen? Can he get to Brentwood? Are they going to shoot him? He's got a gun to his head. Oh, it was incredible. Incredible theater.
I know few people who love anything in life like you love June 17th, 1994.
It's a hell of a 30 for 30, my friend. Hell of a 30 for 30. Subscribe, be part of the team, vsin.com, our radio and podcast friends. You always want to check out these videos at Pauly Does Vegas on Instagram. Always send them in. We'll put you on. How about a Zoomies compilation? Coming in hot. He rolls up. Did you see how he came in like sideways?
Off the trampoline there.
Yeah, right. Jumping on the couch. Here's the dog slip sliding on the surface. This guy knocks over the human and jumps right up and knocks her down. Great compilation of the Zoomies here. This guy coming in.
Boy, that's a tornado waiting to happen.
That's impressive. That's
Oh,
you're gonna need a bigger fence. Yeah, I think a German Shepherd. You're gonna need a bigger fence here. He jumps right over it. This guy running in with the Zoomies. I don't know if that's a French Bulldog or Boston Terrier. Can't make it out. This is a French Bulldog. Going back and forth on the couch and then jumping over, going back. This guy he goes right through the hedges. What he's doing, running around in the backyard. He's so excited. And then this guy at the end goes in the garbage can. Another guy jumping on the couch. Going left
He's so
and right.
big, the couch is like shifting all over the living room.
Yep. This guy with the balls filled up in the tub. And last but least, this guy. This is like wrestling, right? Where they go running back and forth from the turnbuckle to the turnbuckle. Strong compilation with the Zoomies. Very good. Thanks to whoever sent that in. You sent this in. The dog brings the emotional support duck to therapy. Going in the pool.
Pretty good.
Got some. Yes. That's excellent.
That was from Cam in Vancouver. Good find there.
Okay. Good. That's strong. Getting the exercise in with the therapy, working the legs, and he's got the duck with him as well. Now, how about what this hit? Thanks to the viewer who sent this in, he watches Follow the Money. He hit a 9-leg matchup parlay on the U.S. Open. 440 to 1. Do I have that right?
448.
448. Yeah. Okay, there it is. Right. $10. 4,500. Great job. And then it shows the 9-pick parlay and who he had as well. Excellent. One lose some. I don't know. We're in the toy department. I can't believe Stephen A. Smith was caught playing solitaire while the game was going on. I'm supposed to take your analysis seriously at halftime?
Well, that was that was Friday night.
It was Friday night. The fan caught him. Yeah. He tried to say I can multitask. She's like, the game was going on. You're playing solitaire on your phone.
Evidently, he's doubling down like on podcasts, telling people they can kiss his you-know-what.
You can't watch the game? What? He's playing solitaire while the game's going on.
Paul, I'm dreading when the guys from TNT go over there. This is no joke. I have not watched 1 second of pregame, halftime, any of that.
No.
With the coverage. There's no way I would do that.
And what was his analysis? Halliburton has to step up at halftime. Okay. Good. Thanks a lot. Before the line moves, the Sharp Plays at sharpplays.com already there. They don't chase the market, they move it. You're not going to muscle billion-dollar books of full-time bettors on your own, but with the Sharp Plays, you don't have to. Powered by cutting-edge AI and trusted insider sources, the Sharp Plays delivers the edge that serious bettors rely on. Free betting reports, real-time alerts, market-moving insights delivered right to you via email or X. And Jeff and the crew, not some overnight startup. Documented track record going back to 2011. Receipts, logs, and results right there on the site. Sharpplays.com. Trusted by pros, watched by the books. Check them out now. Sharpplays.com.
Well, we gave it a good run. Bet Pete Crow Armstrong to win the National League MVP very early in the season at massive numbers. Brought it up on the air. Some other people hopped on and tailed, and he got all the way down as low as 7-1 before Shohei Ohtani pitched last night. And he was not good.
No, he wasn't.
But that doesn't matter because it was the first time he took the mound. He threw 28 pitches, did not have a strikeout. You knew he was going to be the opener. Didn't know how long he was going to go. Was it going to be an inning, 2 innings, whatever? And he was minus $6 to win the award before the game started. That's where he sits right now. The only way that we can cash, even if Pete Crow Armstrong continues this season and his numbers extrapolated out for a full season, like continue to be on this pace where he puts up, 40 home runs, 45 stolen bases, 120 runs scored, whatever the numbers are going to be, which has been on pace for the entire year, the only way he can win is if Shohei gets injured. That's it. No, that's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's where you're at?
Mm-hmm. Because Shohei is going to start, he'll pitch again sometime soon, and that'll probably be for an inning or two again.
Yeah, he was rusty.
Yeah, and then my guess is after that start, maybe one more, back to the rotation. Here's 5 innings. Go get him, Tiger. And I'm guessing the guy's going to be effective at minimum, and the offensive numbers probably will not dissipate. So we got a steep hill to climb here. And we knew this when we made the bet, though, right? Like he was going to be a monster to beat. We thought that the National League was loaded with other great candidates, like Corbin Carroll was having a great year, Pete Alonso, Juan Soto, some others in there as well. But $6 might turn into minus 2,000 after like his first start.
Would you rather have Armstrong or Raleigh? Raleigh's 20-1.
I think the only way either guy can win is with an injury.
Yeah. Judge is in a funk, but minus 6,000.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, it came down a little bit from minus 8,000.
Yeah.
That's
honestly, incredible. It's June.
That's exactly right. Do you think I'm wrong with those comments? If they play the full season, they're both going to win the award.
He could be Superman. Cubs have a hell of a record, big brand, big following. You never know.
But it also means if Ohtani doesn't get hurt, that means he's going to have to be pedestrian.
Yeah.
Or he's going to have to be average.
Yeah. Well, this guy could have an all-time year though too. Judge, I agree. Has to be an injury, but you still got a shot with PCA.
Yeah, and so he Ohtani gave him nothing. Again, you knew that he was going to go 1, maybe 2 innings. And is that the Dylan Cease that we know and love?
That is. Okay. Absolutely. No doubt.
Struck out a bunch of guys, 6 earned, and lasted like 4 innings, and that was pretty much it. I wonder if the Padres traded him before the deadline. There was talk of that, and Alcantara is a popular target for the Dodgers as well, according to reports.
I don't want him. That'd be stupid. He was okay last night, but you can do better than that.
Yeah,
don't get that guy.
Here's why don't he's again, he won that Cy Young a couple of years ago, but the injury cost him a long time in a lot of baseball.
Mm-hmm.
That's the number one thing the Dodgers are up against already.
Yeah,
I don't know, and it's a pitcher, so anybody can get hurt at any time. I understand that, but I think you kind of want to go out and get a proven guy who has basically never been injured if you're LA. Because you have to add something to the rotation. And maybe that guy's going to be Ohtani. And maybe that's, Ohtani's comeback is going to be correlated eventually with Blake Snell. Glasnow, though, and some of their other younger players that they have.
Well, don't panic. Don't trade a top prospect. I mean, you prove you can just patch it together, piece it together with the bullpen.
Yeah.
Right? We got another run here? What's going on? Louisville's running all over the place.
Well, it is 4-3, though, so Oregon State did get a run. Now I'll make it 5-3.
Yeah, 5-3.
Run. Right up next, we move from the U.S. Open to the Travelers Championship. Pretty damn good field of golfers again this week, by the way. And Jeff Seeley joins the program to discuss. He had some more winners at the U.S. Open. We'll find out his best bets for the Travelers next here on VSiN.